The office gave out end-of-year bonuses, and my wife, Ashley Reed, directly rewarded her secretary, Brandon, with a mansion worth hundreds of millions. Brandon had a bright smile on his face and kissed Ashley Reed on the cheek. "Thank you for the reward, Ms. Reed. I will repay you even better in the future." Watching their intimate behavior, I quietly left the venue. Ashley Reed, however, was dissatisfied with my attitude and rushed over to stop me. Tom, what are you doing? I've told you countless times that Brandon and I have nothing going on. It's all because of his performance." Hearing the word, performance, my heart was filled with bitterness. It was clearly all my hard work, but no one was willing to believe me. This marriage, riddled with holes. I don't want it anymore. I had just left the end-of-year bonus venue when Brandon's eager voice came from behind. "Ms. Reed, is Mr. Tom angry? I don't want this mansion. I don't want to affect you too." While speaking, Brandon handed over the keys to the mansion. Seeing this, Ashley Reed's expression darkened. "What's given to you is given to you. Why do you care if he's angry? You do nothing at home all day, and now you're trying to control me. He's really getting too big for his britches." Hearing Ashley Reed's impatient voice, a layer of bitterness spread through my heart. This wasn't the first time Ashley Reed had treated me like this. Since we had become successful entrepreneurs, she said she didn't want me to work too hard, so I focused most of my attention on the family. Because of this, Ashley Reed felt that I wasn't helping her and became increasingly impatient with me. But she forgot. In the beginning, her company was able to get investment because most of the CEOs/directors were giving me face. The massive amount of financing made Ashley Reed complacent, and she treated the company as her own. I want to see how long Ashley Reed can last without my help. After returning home, a cold feeling washed over me. I went to the kitchen, ready to cook for myself, when my messaging app buzzed. When I opened it, it was a post from Ashley Reed on her social media feed. /dedicated assistant, you deserve one /. In the picture, Brandon was wearing shorts and an apron. He looked like he was making a hangover remedy for Ashley Reed. Seeing their ambiguous atmosphere, my heart had long gone numb. From the first time Brandon provoked me, I knew that they would eventually cross the line. But I didn't expect it to be so soon. But what they do is none of my business, right? I'm going to get a divorce anyway, so I don't care about any of this. I put my phone aside and continued to cook. However, just as I was about to chop vegetables, Ashley Reed suddenly sent me a short video. It showed Brandon spoon-feeding Ashley Reed hangover soup/remedy. However, the video was recalled a minute after it was sent. Then, Brandon's apologetic words came over. "Mr. Tom, I'm sorry, I forwarded it to the wrong person." I understood Brandon's little tricks, so I just replied with, "Okay," and said nothing more. Ashley Reed didn't come back all night, and I enjoyed the peace and quiet. Early the next morning, it was already past the start of work, and I still hadn't gone to the office, so Ashley Reed couldn't sit still. I was woken up by a series of ringtones. As soon as I answered the phone, before I could say anything, Ashley Reed's scolding came over. Tom, what are you doing now? I drank too much at a social event yesterday, and Brandon was just taking care of me. Why are you not coming to the office today because of such a small matter? Ashley Reed's questioning voice made my head hurt. Didn't I submit a leave request? What? Didn't you see it? Hearing my voice, Ashley Reed took out her phone and glanced at it, and sure enough, she found my leave request. However, someone like her would never admit that she was wrong. You are now the CEO/director of the company, you should set an example, right? If you want to take leave, come to the office in person to ask for it. Ashley Reed deliberately emphasized the last part of her sentence. I knew what Ashley Reed meant. Since I had already decided to divorce her, I might as well go to the office. Thinking of this, I changed my clothes and went straight to the office. As soon as I arrived, I saw Brandon welcoming me. His face was flushed, and his eyes were full of provocation and mockery. When Brandon saw me, he quickly came up to me. Mr. Chi/Tom, MS. Reed asked me to pick you up. Brandon walked beside me, intentionally or unintentionally revealing the ambiguous marks on his neck. He kept testing my reaction. But I'm going to get a divorce anyway, so why would I bother with someone like him who can't be taken seriously? MS. Reed, Mr. Chi/Tom is here. Hearing Brandon's voice, Ashley Reed looked up at me, and the dissatisfaction in her eyes was instantly revealed. What are you wearing? Can't you learn from Brandon and dress yourself up a bit? Ashley Reed's disgusted voice filled my ears, but I didn't care at all. I took out the divorce papers I had prepared in my canvas bag and threw them on the desk. Ashley Reed, let's get a divorce. As soon as I said that, Ashley Reed paused, and her face darkened. Tom, Chi, what did you say? Just as I was about to answer, Brandon's explanatory voice came from the side. Mr. Chi/Tom, don't misunderstand MS. Reed and me. Yesterday, MS. Reed drank too much and threw up all over me, so I had to change my clothes. Brandon was clearly explaining, but there was no less provocation in his eyes. I ignored Brandon's voice and focused my gaze firmly on Ashley Reed. I said I want a divorce. As soon as I finished speaking, Ashley Reed's eyes were blazing, and she slammed the table. Tom, Chi, there's a limit to how much you can do because you're jealous. You still want a divorce? In your dreams. Ashley Reed picked up the divorce papers and tore them to pieces, throwing them in my face. Tom, Chi, there's a limit to how much you can threaten people. Divorce? That's too much. Ashley Reed, I'm not threatening you. If you really don't agree to a divorce, then we'll go through legal channels. My voice was full of indifference and determination, and Ashley Reed's face darkened. Her wanton gaze swept over me, as if searching for a trace of weakness. But she failed. Realizing that I was serious about getting a divorce, Ashley Reed also stated her demands. Tom, Chi, you can get a divorce, but you have to walk away with nothing. Hearing Ashley Reed's shameless statement, I couldn't help but sneer. Ashley Reed, are you dreaming? You're the one who cheated. And you still want me to walk away with nothing? What? Have you gotten too arrogant these past few years that you don't even know who's at fault? Ashley Reed had never seen me so aggressive, and her face turned pale. But I didn't give her any time to catch her breath and directly stated my demands. We'll split the office in half, and all the marital property belongs to me. Hearing my demands, Ashley Reed's voice suddenly rose. Tom, Chi, have you gone crazy for money? Do you know how much the office is worth? Do you know how much our marital property is? I'm telling you right now that it's absolutely impossible for you to ask for so much. Since it's impossible, then let's just sue. I didn't give Ashley Reed any leeway. Since things have already turned out like this, we might as well make things even bigger. Ashley Reed looked at my naive expression and couldn't help but sneer. Sue? Tom, Chi, what are you going to sue with? Reed and Chi Innovations has a strong legal team. And you're just all alone. At this point, Ashley Reed paused, her eyes full of amusement. What makes you think you can win against me? Hearing Ashley Reed's voice, I smiled sarcastically. She seemed to have forgotten that the office was originally built entirely by me. Not to mention the strong legal team she mentioned. Those were all elites that my father gave me. How could they turn against me just because of her words? Ashley Reed, let's end this amicably and maintain some dignity. After saying that, I turned to leave. Seeing that I didn't care about anything, Ashley Reed rushed forward and stopped me. Tom, Chi, did I say you could leave? She grabbed my wrist. I don't know how much strength Ashley Reed used, but her wrist instantly turned purple. I wasn't polite with Ashley Reed and kicked her directly. Ashley Reed, act like a decent human being. Feeling unbearable pain, Ashley Reed let go of my hand. Seeing this, Brandon quickly went up to help her. Ms. Reed, are you okay? Let me see. As he said that, Brandon put his hand on Ashley Reed's waist. Seeing their incredibly ambiguous actions, I quickly covered my eyes. How disgusting. Ugh. Seeing this scene was too unlucky. I shrugged my shoulders and was about to leave when Brandon stopped me again. Mr. Chi/Tom, you're really going too far. Ms. Reed is doing this for your own good, and you're treating her like this. Apologize. Seeing Brandon's expression, I didn't hold back and slapped him directly. Brandon, go see a doctor, a brain is a good thing to have. Also, stop waving around in front of me. I won't be so gentle next time. As I said this, I raised my palm. Brandon reflexively shrunk his neck and returned to Ashley Reed's side. Seeing the scum and bitch cowering together, I suddenly felt the depression in my heart being released. Sure enough, you can't take a step back in life. Leaving Reed and Chi Innovations, I suddenly felt relaxed. The dark clouds will eventually pass. After I left the office, Brandon no longer suppressed his emotions and quickly began massaging Ashley Reed. Ms. Reed, Mr. Chi/Tom seems really angry this time. Otherwise, I'll apologize to him tomorrow. It's not good for him to keep misunderstanding us like this. The more Brandon said this, the angrier Ashley Reed became. She always felt like something was slipping out of her grasp. Apologize for what? I've really given him too much credit. And splitting half of the office with him is just a pipe dream. Ashley Reed's tone was full of anger. At this moment, the general manager of the business department rushed in, his face full of anxiety. Ms. Reed, something bad has happened. Mr. Chen, C note, and the others have suddenly withdrawn their investment. Hearing the business department manager's voice, Ashley Reed's face darkened. What's going on? We still have new cooperative projects with Mr. Chen, C note, and the others. Why would they withdraw their investment for no reason? The business department manager's expression wasn't good either, and he could only express his doubts. Mr. Chen, C note, and the others are all Mr. Chi/Tom's clients, so we don't know the specifics. Hearing my name, Ashley Reed's eyes were filled with anger, and she said through gritted teeth. Tom Chi. Ashley Reed tried her best to control her emotions. You go back first, I'll figure out what to do about Mr. Chen, C note, S matter. After the business department manager left, Brandon also spoke. Ms. Reed, I have a good idea to get Mr. Chi/Tom back. Brandon whispered something in Ashley Reed's ear, and Ashley Reed's expression became more and more serious. Although it wasn't a good idea, it was better than nothing. Ashley Reed didn't hesitate and drove straight home. When she got home, I had already packed up all my things. When she saw my luggage, a hint of panic flashed in her eyes. Tom Chi, I really know I was wrong, can you forgive me? As Ashley Reed rubbed against me, a pungent fragrance wafted over. Smelling this smell, I only felt disgusted and pushed Ashley Reed away. Tom Chi, I think I'm pregnant. Ashley Reed frowned, then looked at me with a happy face. Pregnant? Hearing such an uncommon word, my heart was full of doubt. How could she be pregnant? Although I've always liked children, Ashley Reed rejected my idea on the grounds that her career was just starting. After that, we had always been taking precautions. So how could she be pregnant now? As I was wondering, Ashley Reed grabbed my hand. Tom Chi, take me to the hospital for a checkup. As she said that, Ashley Reed took me straight to the hospital. After a series of examinations, I was already exhausted and felt a surge of drowsiness. As I was dozing off to the side, Ashley Reed's excited voice came over. Tom Chi, it's been 2 months. We're having a baby. 2 months? How is that possible? Since Brandon became Ashley Reed's secretary, she hasn't been home every day. How could she be pregnant? Tom, Chi, I must throw a party to announce my pregnancy to the world. Looking at Ashley Reed's excited expression, I felt more and more that something was wrong. She's too abnormal now. Ashley Reed's execution this time was very strong. She had just confirmed her pregnancy in the morning and immediately held a celebration party in the evening, inviting all of Reed and Chi Innovations partners and investors. They all congratulated her when they heard that Ashley Reed was pregnant. I was also infected by this atmosphere and put those doubts behind me. That night, Ashley Reed returned home drunk. As soon as she lay on the bed, Brandon's message came over. MS. Reed, the plan was successful. Mr. Chen, C note, and the others have restored their investment, and the crisis has been resolved. No wonder Mr. Chen, C note, always tried to probe me at the banquet today. Now it seems that she seemed to want to confirm something with me. With this thought in mind, I contacted Mr. Chen, C note, directly. Mr. Chen, C note, told me that he was willing to invest in Ashley Reed because he was taken care of by my father. There are people from him inside Reed and Chi Innovations. The sound of Ashley Reed and I breaking up in the office that day could be heard outside. So after he received the news, he immediately withdrew his investment. But as soon as he withdrew his investment, Ashley Reed announced her pregnancy. Mr. Chen, C note, was giving me face, so this time the investment was even bigger. After hanging up the phone, I sat alone on the sofa, my heart full of doubts. How could Mr. Chen, C note, have just withdrawn his investment and Ashley Reed become pregnant? The more I thought about it, the more I felt that something was wrong. This pregnancy must be fishy. With this thought in mind, I went straight to the hospital the next day. Number 23, Tom, Chi. Hearing the voice from the broadcast, I took the results in my hand and entered the doctor's office. Tom, Chi. A surprised voice came over. Senior Grace, C note. I didn't expect to meet Grace in the obstetrics and gynecology department. She was a senior in a club when I was in college. At that time, she wanted to transfer to the medical department, but I didn't expect her to succeed. This is the obstetrics and gynecology department, what are you doing here? Grace looked me up and down strangely. I exchanged a few pleasantries with her and then got straight to the point. Senior, please take a look at this for me. Hearing my voice, Grace also focused her attention on the results. There are no major problems, the fetus is developing well, but the body is relatively weak and needs more attention. She's really pregnant? Hearing my voice, Grace's face was full of doubt. Didn't you give me this form? This is your wife, right? Congratulations. After confirming that Ashley Reed was pregnant, my mind was even more confused. Senior, thank you for today, I'll treat you to dinner another day. I said goodbye to Grace and was about to leave when I saw Ashley Reed's figure. Brandon was with her, and both of them had happy expressions on their faces. They also came to the obstetrics and gynecology department. In that instant, I completely understood. Ashley Reed is pregnant, but the child is not mine, it's Brandon's. They did this to get Mr. Chen, C note, S next investment. After all, the biggest investor in Reed and Chi Innovations is Mr. Chen, C note. I suppressed the anger in my heart and took pictures of the two of them being inseparable. I want to see how Ashley Reed will explain it then. I waited until late at night before Ashley Reed came back. There was a clear lipstick stain on the collar of her white shirt. When she saw me, a bright smile instantly appeared on her face. Tom, Chi, the office is holding a celebration party tomorrow, you must come. Without you, the office wouldn't have been able to reach a new level. I silently avoided her hugging motion and gave her a cold look. I knew that the opportunity had come. The next day, I arrived at the office early in the morning. As soon as I arrived, I saw Brandon standing in the middle of the crowd, showing off the clothes he was wearing. That set of clothes was custom-made for me by Ashley Reed. At first, I thought the clothes were too flashy, so I never wore them. Later, I couldn't find them. At that time, Ashley Reed's attitude was extremely perfunctory, and she gave me a card, telling me to buy whatever I liked. Now it seems the clothes weren't lost, they were taken away and given to someone else. When Brandon saw me coming, he quickly walked over, his face almost splitting with a smile. Mr. Chi/Tom, you're finally here. What do you think of this outfit I'm wearing? As he spoke, Brandon moved closer to me and lowered his voice. Tom, Chi, what do you have to compare with me? Hearing Brandon's voice, I chuckled. Just a piece of trash, only you would think she's a treasure. Instantly, Brandon's face turned ugly. Just as he was about to attack me, Ashley Reed arrived at the office. Seeing Ashley Reed come in, Brandon smiled and walked up, intimately putting his arm around Ashley Reed's waist. Ashley Reed didn't reject Brandon and leaned on his arm, standing on the high platform. Reed & Chi Innovations is about to go public. We can make such great progress all thanks to Brandon's hard work. Before Ashley Reed could finish speaking, Brandon's excited voice came over. No, all of this is actually MS. Reed's credit. Without MS. Reed's guidance, there would be no me today. Brandon looked at Ashley Reed affectionately, and their eyes were drawn together with sticky threads, and the distance between them became closer and closer. Finally, Brandon couldn't control his emotions and kissed Ashley Reed's lips directly. Seeing this, Ashley Reed was stunned for a moment and quickly responded enthusiastically. For a time, the entire office was filled with the sound of their intimacy. Just as the two of them were kissing passionately, an abrupt voice rang out. Is that Mess? Reed? As soon as this voice came out, everyone's eyes turned to the big screen. On it were Ashley Reed's and my marriage certificate, as well as ambiguous pictures of Ashley Reed and Brandon. At this time, the photos taken at the obstetrics and gynecology department that day played a big role. MS. Reed and Mr. Chi/Tom are married, and she cheated on Brandon. The most important thing is that they went to the obstetrics and gynecology department, so who's the father of the child Mess? Reed is carrying. Their voices became smaller and smaller as they discussed, and sympathetic eyes were on me. However, the two people on the stage were engrossed in their performance and didn't realize the changes in the scene. Some of the old employees who had been with Ashley Reed and me since the beginning couldn't stand it any longer and threw the celebratory confetti in their hands directly at them. Slut! You two-timing bitch! With her taking the lead, the rest of the employees who couldn't stand Brandon and Ashley Reed also threw confetti cannons at them. Hearing this voice, Ashley Reed felt a pain in her arm before she could react. Just as she was about to get angry, a barrage of confetti was thrown at her. Seeing this, Brandon's face was full of worry. MS. Reed, the baby. Protect the baby. Brandon wanted to move up in the world too much. Saying the existence of the child out loud at this time would completely confirm Ashley Reed's infidelity. He was helping her so well. After all the attacks disappeared, Brandon protected Ashley Reed behind him. You've all gone too far. How dare you attack me? Do you not want to work here anymore? The employees who attacked Ashley Reed at the beginning heard her threatening voice and directly took off their employee badges from their necks and threw them on the ground. I quit. I'm ashamed to have a boss like you. After saying this, she stood behind me very dashingly. With her setting an example, all the old employees who had walked with us step by step stood behind me. Seeing their actions, Ashley Reed's eyes flashed with anger. You. Okay. Very well. She retracted her gaze and stared at me, her tone full of questioning. Tom, Chi, are you satisfied with making such a scene? I didn't answer Ashley Reed's question, my eyes staring straight at her. Ashley Reed, is the child you're carrying mine? Hearing my voice, Ashley Reed's eyes flashed with a hint of panic. Of course. Can I lie to you about this kind of thing? Her voice became smaller and smaller, and she didn't even sound confident in what she was saying. Although I already knew the answer in my heart was still filled with sadness after I really confirmed it. At this moment, the silent Brandon suddenly jumped out. He knelt down in front of me. Mr. Cheese/Tom, please don't blame MS. Reed, MS. Reed is also trying to protect the company. We just got drunk and did something wrong. If you're really angry, then blame me. Seeing Brandon being so humble, Ashley Reed's guilt towards me completely disappeared. She helped Brandon up. Why apologize to him? As an employee of the company, it's his duty to contribute to the company. Hearing Ashley Reed's brainless remarks, I really don't know what I saw in her before. I didn't want to say anything more to Ashley Reed and threw the divorce papers directly on her face. Divorce. You can have a divorce, and you can have the rest of the property, but the company must be mine. I knew what Ashley Reed was planning. It's just that Reed and Chi Innovations has gone public and the value is different. It's a bargain no matter how you look at it to use that useless property to exchange for a money-making machine. But if Ashley Reed really has the ability, maybe she can protect the company. Okay, I agree to your terms. Ashley Reed didn't hesitate at all, fearing that I would regret it, and took me straight to City Hall. After the 30-day divorce waiting period ended, we were completely unrelated. But Brandon didn't seem to be able to wait for those 30 days. After Ashley Reed and I separated, she immediately bought Brandon a new mansion. As for the one she rewarded him with before, the funds are considered marital property, which is mine. I sold all the property I got in the divorce and started a new company. The employees who stood firmly behind me at the beginning also became the founding members of the company. Under my careful management, the company also got on the right track. The former clients of Reed and Chi Innovations, knowing that I had started a company, terminated their contracts with Ashley Reed one after another and came to cooperate with me. Some clients even preferred to pay liquidated damages because they trusted me more. After all, my strength is obvious to them. Ashley Reed was still busy with her wedding with Brandon, so naturally she didn't pay attention to the changes in the company. As for the rest of the people in the company, all of them were useless drunkards, stupid people Ashley Reed had recruited, so how could they have noticed these changes? Ashley Reed and Brandon's wedding was scheduled for the day the divorce waiting period ended. She was waiting to get the divorce certificate with me and then marry Brandon. But what she didn't expect was that she didn't wait for me, but for the police. How could I let Ashley Reed off easily after she betrayed me? I directly reported her for bigamy. Ashley Reed received a pair of silver bracelets, handcuffs, on her wedding day and was directly arrested. Brandon was stunned in place, his face numb. Later, I heard that Brandon seemed to have smashed the entire wedding venue. Brandon used the money Ashley Reed gave him to buy luxury goods, so he didn't have any money to pay damages. In the end, he had no choice but to mortgage the new mansion. After all, he is now Ashley Reed's husband in name. Whether it's getting Ashley Reed out or the company's affairs, he needs to take care of it. Getting Ashley Reed out is very simple. But Brandon didn't want to at all. He finally had this opportunity to control the company, so naturally he wouldn't give it up. Brandon placed all his relatives in Reed and Chi Innovations. In an instant, the already dilapidated company became even more chaotic. In just half a month, Reed and Chi Innovations had a serious deficit. Brandon had no choice but to invest most of the money from mortgaging the mansion, but the company still didn't improve. With no other choice, he had to find a way to get Ashley Reed back. Ashley, I finally see you. I mortgaged our mansion to bail you out. Hearing Brandon's voice, Ashley Reed's face was full of exhaustion. What's going on? It was all done by Tom Chi. He specially opened a new company to target our company and stole all of our clients. Knowing that it was my doing, Ashley Reed's expression darkened. Tomorrow, start a full-scale attack on Tom Chi's new company. Just a rookie. What can he do to me? Brandon trembled uncontrollably, perhaps seeing Ashley Reed so ruthless for the first time. If Ashley Reed knew what he had done, he would definitely be in trouble. With this thought in mind, Brandon also planned how to run away with the money. The next morning, Ashley Reed led a large group of people and rushed directly to my office/workplace. Tom Chi, get out here. Well, if it isn't MS. Reed/Ashley? You just got out, and you're already starting a fight? Aren't you afraid of going back in? The other employees echoed. That's right. MS. Reed/Ashley, you have to abide by the law. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep the office/workplace. Ashley Reed was annoyed by their chatter and kicked over the money tree. The pot shattered on the floor. What's all the commotion? Originally, I didn't want to talk to Ashley Reed, but she was making too much noise. I knew her personality. If I didn't go out today, she would turn my office/workplace upside down. Ashley Reed, what's going on? Ashley Reed's anger became even more obvious when she saw me. She rushed towards me in a few steps. However, before she could get close to me, she was stopped by the security guards. Tom Chi, you bastard. So that's why you gave me the office/workplace so readily. You were waiting for me here. Where did you get the nerve to poach my clients? Seeing Ashley Reed's exasperated appearance, I felt a burst of relief. Fortunately, I discovered her true colors early and got out. I would have been suffocated to death if I had spent my life with Ashley Reed. Before I could answer Ashley Reed, the senior employees who came with me spoke up. MS. Reed/Ashley, wake up. Reed and Chi Innovations wouldn't have gotten off the ground without Tom Chi. Those clients are all here for Tom Chi. You're just a thief who stole someone else's achievements, and you're still acting superior every day. I don't know what you have to be so superior about. You can't even freeload properly. How embarrassing. Ashley Reed turned red with anger, her face turning blue and purple. In fact, she had always known the truth, but she was unwilling to admit it. Now that outsiders had presented the truth to her so bluntly, she naturally couldn't accept it. That's nonsense. Reed and Chi Innovations is my hard work. What does it have to do with Tom Chi? Stop lying. Ashley Reed's tone was hysterical, and she took the opportunity to leave. Brandon watched Ashley Reed leave and was about to slip away when I stopped him. What? What do you want? Brandon looked at me with fear in his eyes. Brandon, you can't keep getting away with this. Just one sentence from me, and Brandon's forehead was covered in cold sweat, his face full of panic. He didn't answer my question but left shakily. Later, Ashley Reed tried to prove her ability and specifically competed with me for projects. However, Ashley Reed didn't know that Brandon had already ruined the company's reputation. They couldn't get any projects. Seeing Ashley Reed looking flustered, I added fuel to the fire. I told Ashley Reed everything Brandon had done in recent days. There's no good end for a scumbag and a bitch. Ashley Reed learned that after she went in, Brandon didn't try to save her but instead went to the office/workplace to act like a tyrant. At that moment, Ashley Reed knew what kind of person Brandon was. She imprisoned Brandon at home, ordering him around for minor things and beating him for major ones. You bastard. How did the company end up like this if it wasn't for you? Damn it. You deserve to die. As long as Brandon didn't listen to Ashley Reed, he would be beaten and kicked. I heard that the worst time, Brandon was almost beaten to death by Ashley Reed. If the neighbors hadn't discovered it early, Brandon might not have survived. Since that day, Brandon seemed to have learned his lesson, obeying Ashley Reed in everything. Ashley Reed's temper also improved a bit. She thought that things would continue like this, but she didn't expect that Brandon never intended to let Ashley Reed go. On a sunny day, Brandon directly poisoned the food and sent Ashley Reed on her way. He set Ashley Reed's body on fire and fled the scene. When I received the news, I suddenly felt a wave of emotion. I wanted Ashley Reed and Brandon to fight each other like dogs. But I didn't expect them to be so extreme. Neither of them let the other off. But what does this have to do with me? You reap what you sow. Their ending is no one's fault but their own. Since divorcing Ashley Reed, my romantic luck has been getting better and better. In particular, Senior Grace has been very attentive to me. As adults, I naturally understood what she meant. Although I wasn't opposed to starting another relationship, I didn't want to settle down so quickly. Senior Grace also respected my choice and was willing to take things one step at a time. She knew my preferences and specially found a light private dining restaurant. Originally, she was going to pick me up, but I refused. After all, her hospital and my office/workplace were in opposite directions, which wasn't convenient. I followed Senior Grace's address to the parking lot of the private dining restaurant. As soon as I got out of the car, I felt like someone was behind me. I looked back, but there was no one there. What was going on? I turned back suspiciously and was about to walk forward when I heard a sound cutting through the air. At the same time, Senior Grace's worried voice rang out. Tom Chi, be careful. Hearing her voice, I turned around and saw Brandon, ragged and holding a fruit knife, stabbing towards me. Brandon was very fast, and I couldn't dodge in time. Senior Grace didn't know where she got the strength from. She ran to my side and pulled me into her arms. Brandon's fruit knife grazed Senior Grace's arm. Blood flowed out instantly, staining Senior Grace's arm red. Senior Grace, are you okay? My eyes were full of worry. However, Brandon didn't give me a chance to care. He waved the fruit knife and stabbed towards me again. Tom Chi, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, how could I have ended up in such a miserable state? Die. I'll kill you. The reason Senior Grace was injured just now was because I wasn't prepared. Now that I was alert, I kicked Brandon in the chest when he rushed over. Brandon had been on the run for the past few days, and he had little strength left. Now that I kicked him, he spat out blood. He collapsed to the ground like a rag doll, his face full of despair, muttering nonstop. Why? Why did this happen? Why did you hurt me? Before I could answer Brandon's question, Senior Grace's stern voice came over. You can only blame yourself for becoming like this. You can't blame anyone else. I've already called the police. You can spend the rest of your life repenting in prison. The shrill sound of sirens rang out, and Brandon's future was sealed. After Tom Chi and Senior Grace gave their statements, Tom Chi immediately took her to the hospital. Although the wound had been treated urgently, Tom Chi was still afraid. Senior Grace also noticed Tom Chi's worry, so she joked. Are you so worried about me? Then why don't you marry me? Okay. Senior Grace was stunned when she heard Tom Chi's voice, and then her whole face was filled with joy. Really? Tom Chi, are you serious? I'm serious. Just now, life and death hung in the balance, and Tom Chi felt that people should be impulsive sometimes. Moreover, Senior Grace was a very good person. Tom Chi was willing to be brave once. Senior Grace seemed afraid that Tom Chi would go back on his word. As soon as she heard that Tom Chi wanted to get married, she immediately went home to get her birth certificate, and they got their marriage license that day. Since she got her marriage license with Tom Chi, she has been smiling foolishly at Tom Chi every day. No matter where Tom Chi went, she followed him. They had a baby in the second year of their marriage. After having a baby, Senior Grace focused more on the family. Tom Chi was also able to better develop his career. But the child didn't become estranged from Tom Chi because of this, but instead became even more attached to him.